Hello, I am Pastor Troy.
And I'm Coach Cal.
Welcome to the Make Him Known podcast.
You know, one of the things about Make Him Known is that God has made himself known to us so that we can have a personal relationship with him through the love.
Hello, I am Pastor Troy.
And I'm Coach Cal.
Welcome to the Make Him Known podcast.
You know, one of the things about Make Him Known is that God has made himself known to us so that we can have a personal relationship with him through the love of Jesus Christ. That's awesome, Pastor. And we appreciate the Fellowship of Church Ministries to helping us produce this broadcast. Pastor, tell us the genesis of Make Him Known.
Well, this is Faith Studios, and the genesis of Make Him Known podcast, one of our members, our musician, Alex Ward, actually was pushing and prodding me to do a podcast, and I've always wanted to do one, but Alex Ward, our musician, is really my son in the ministry. He kept pushing and prodding me to do this podcast. And then the assist coach, Coach Cal, was also asking and inquiring about a podcast, and so thus, here we are, by faith, make him known. Coach Cal and I, we're always talking about the word. We're always talking about ministry, fulfilling the Great Commission. And it just dropped in my spirit, make him known. So again, here we are, Make Him Known podcast with PT, Pastor Troy, and the assist coach, Coach Cal.
No, that's awesome, Pastor, because, you know, as we journey through this human existence, we're to be like Christ. We're to know him personally, but also attached to that is making him known. And so this is going to be a dynamic ministry. We pray that there will be people who want to partner with us so that we can continue to make Christ known throughout the world. Now, give us the significance of some of the stories behind Make Him Known. In particular, how you got started as a young man in your relationship with the Lord.
I got saved at the age of 10. I got called to preach at the age of 18. And I've always been thirsty and hungry for the word. Athletics has always been my bent, if you will. I grew up around cousins who played football and basketball, so I was always around them. My dad loved athletics. My dad played basketball, football, and was a referee. So again, athletics has always been my spiritual bent. And being a chaplain, I was introduced to being a chaplain through Coach Pettaway and through Coach Ron Cooper. Again, I got called to preach at the age of 18. I went to Alabama A&M to major in electrical engineering, but the call of God was so heavy on my life that I forsook engineering, and I went to Bible school at American Baptist College in Nashville, Tennessee. Went to seminary in Louisville, Kentucky at the Southern Seminary, Theological Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky. Came back home to be the assistant pastor at the First Missionary Baptist Church. Ron Cooper, again, was the football coach at the time. Van Pettaway was the basketball coach. Ron Cooper asked Julius Scruggs to be the team chaplain. That was not Pastor Scruggs' bent. He was not athletically inclined as I. God knew the desires of my heart. So Pastor Scruggs asked me to take his place, and I've been the team chaplain 25 years later.
Oh, that's amazing. Amazing story. You know, one of the things that I find interesting, Pastor Troy, is your propensity to be around the athletes and to mingle and to connect with them. Tell me how that got started once you started the ministry 25 years ago. What was your first experience?
Believe it or not, when Ron Cooper asked me to be the team chaplain, I would always sit up in the stands. He said, you know, you can stay on the sidelines. And ever since then, I was on the sidelines, going to the locker rooms, just intermingling with the students. And he would always ask me to pray with the students. And then it evolved from prayer to Bible study with the students. And then with the coaches, we did a FCA. We had a Bible study with the coaches. And it just became a part of the fabric, just being mingling with them.
No, that's good. That's good. I can see how it evolved from the relationships that you had with the coaches and how it trickled down to the players. Give us a synopsis of what you hope to occur with this ministry as we try to make him known?
Number one, we want to make him known. We want to use this platform, again, to fulfill the Great Commission. We want to use it to expose, inspire coaches, student athletes, because, again, we love the word and we love athletics.
Good, good. Now tell us a little bit about just the impact that the Fellowship of Faith is having through your ministry in middle schools, high schools, and how did that get started?
Yep, our vision is to make an impact in where we are planted in Huntsville and in Madison. We minister to the students at Mae Jemison. We minister to the students at Lee. We minister to the students at the middle schools and also the elementary schools in the 5-mile radius of our church. And obviously, we minister to the students at Alabama A&M because, again, that's our vision, to make an impact where we are planted. And since we are in Madison, we have thus the Jabez prayer expanded our territory to minister to some students at Bob Jones and even James Clemens as well.
Oh, that's exciting. You know, when we start looking at the multiple campuses that we have through the Fellowship of Faith, you know, the mind starts to wondering is, well, how did he meet the person that helped him build the beginning of this ministry? How did you and Lady Kim meet, Pastor?
By the providence of God. I was doing a youth day. I was the youth day speaker at her church, the Mount Zion Baptist Church. I will never forget it. She was playing the piano. She was a musician there. One of my classmates, too, was in attendance at that youth day service. And after service, I turned to her. Sonia Green is her name, and I still thank God for Sonia Green. I say, Sonia, you gotta, you know that young lady that was on the piano? You gotta give me her number and hook us up. And 28 years later, we are still together.
Man, that is awesome. Awesome. Now, as a result of your relationship with Lady Kim and you guys have someone special that came along during that process. Tell us a little bit about Coach Tori.
Yes, Kim is the home. Tori is my heart. That's my twin right there.
No, that's awesome. You know, we've seen her ministry in the choir, as well as she's a coach at one of the local high schools. Tell us about that.
Yes. I guess you get it from my daddy.
No, that's good. We know that she's at Jemison High School and is doing a tremendous job with the girls basketball team there. Pastor, I want to kind of segue into what do we do now as a result of having inroads at these universities, at the local high schools. Tell us a little bit about the global impact of the Fellowship of Faith Church and how Make Him Known could be an instrument in addition to what the Fellowship of Church has already had an impact.
Praise God. We've had the opportunity to go globally. We did a mission trip in Mexico. I got a chance to preach the gospel in Mexico. Got a chance to preach the gospel in Ghana. We went to Ghana to build some wells for some privileges, for underprivileged persons in villages that didn't have running water. So we got a chance to build some wells there and preach the gospel there. And recently I got a chance to go to the DR with the men's basketball team, and we too spread the gospel there. We did some food distributions and got a chance to preach the gospel, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. Again, that's our mission, to make an impact.
No, that's awesome. You know, in Acts 1:8, it says that we start in Jerusalem, then we go to Judea, Samaria, and then to the uttermost parts of the earth. And it's exciting to see that the Fellowship of Faith is having that kind of global impact in the world. One of the things that I really appreciate about you, Pastor, is your heart and your love for people. And it really mirrors the love that God has for us. When he sent his own son, he demonstrated his love for us, and that while we were still separated from him and sinners, God sent his son to die for us, die in our place.
Yes.
And so God had a plan for our life, a wonderful plan for our life, and he put it into action through his love. Now, Pastor Troy, let's talk a little bit about the genesis of the Fellowship of Faith Church. I know that you were a part of First Baptist, but tell me how your ministry began and what was the genesis of the Fellowship of Faith.
Ironically, when I was on staff at First Missionary Baptist, I went to Pastor Scruggs. I said, Pastor Scruggs, you ought to plant me in Madison. And that was not his proclivity to do so, his bent to do so. And God called me to pastor a church in Mobile. And Lady Kim and I went to Mobile for 9 months, and we say that's a word picture. We were there just to give birth to the Fellowship of Faith.
Wow.
So we came back, we started the Fellowship of Faith, and that's why thus the name of our church, the Fellowship of Faith. We started it by faith, and God has been blessing.
Now tell us the number of people that you began the church with, and to what number it is now that God has blessed us with.
3, Lady Kim and Tori and my dad.
Wow.
That was the 3, and now we're over 1,000 members.
Man, look at the Lord working in our life. We're just blessed to have you and your family lead us into this ministry of impacting this community with the love of the Lord and service to this community. I know we have many programs. You want to highlight some of those programs that we have here at the church?
Yeah, we have a lot of ministries, and the definition of ministry is to meet the needs of people. And we have a lot of our ministries. That's what we want to do. We want to meet the needs of people. Our marriage ministry, our women's ministry, our men of faith ministry, and really all of our ministries have the coin faith in them, because we started them by faith. Again, our men's ministry, men of faith, our women's ministry, women of faith. We have all of those ministries to meet the needs of people. We have a phenomenal food distribution, not so much now because of the construction in front of the church, but once that construction dies down, we're going to get back to the food distribution. We still have a feeding by faith. We go to the rescue mission. We feed the homeless. Again, we just want to meet the needs of people. We want to make sure that we do ministry.
Oh, that's awesome, Pastor. I know that in our making him known, we want to include the element of building a strong personal relationship with Christ. That is the single most important thing that we can do as we attempt to make him known, that it becomes an overflow of our relationship with Christ, that we can't help the joy that he puts in our lives, so that we can't tell others about his goodness in our life. Tell us some of the things that you have seen in some of the members and how they have started ministries that weren't there. Tell us a couple of stories about that.
We have a lot of ministers at the church that do parachurch ministry. They partner with the church to do outside ministry, and that's fine, because that's what it's all about.
That's great.
Again, fulfilling the Great Commission, even through these 4 walls and outside of these 4 walls.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So one of our things that we want to make him known is we want to take care of the partnerships with entities that are concerned about the needs of people. And so if it wasn't for God working in our life through other people, we wouldn't be sitting here.
Correct.
And so I'm thankful for the Fellowship of Faith outreach into our community, as well as just the in-reach that we have in the ministry that minister to the church body.
Yes, yes.
Pastor, give us some closing remarks.
We would love for you to partner with us as we seek to make him known in Huntsville and in Madison. You can give via Givelify, you can give via Cash App, and you can give via PayPal. And those entities will be on the screen for you to sow into the Make Him Known broadcast or podcast.
Thank you, Pastor. We appreciate you, and we thank everyone that's involved with this ministry. Thank you for our production expert, Alex Ward, and for Pastor Troy and myself. We'll see you next time.
Make him known.